Welcome to a special edition of the Richmond Film Network Podcast, featuring the production assistants from the short film Monday, a White Balloon Productions film directed by Richmond Film Network founder Lisa Giles, made for the first ever Global City producer 48-hour film project.
Hello and welcome to the Richmond Film Network Podcast. My name is Alina McMahon. I'm your host, and today we're talking about the upcoming 48-hour city producer film titled Monday. I was a PA on the set, and I'm here with two other PAs. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Matthew Tate. I was a PA on the set. I also do screenwriting, but not for this particular film. I've done now 7 48s.
My name's Addy. I was also another PA on this set. This was actually my first 48, so pretty exciting. I've also worked on some other smaller sets as well.
Awesome. Yeah, and so for background on me, this was my second 48. My first one was in October. So me and Addy were kind of the newcomers here. And Payden has joined. Payden, so happy to see you. We were just introducing ourselves. Do you want to give a little background, your role on the Monday movie, and a little background on your film experience?
Yeah, my name is Payden Wilson. This is my second 48, second time even on set. I was a production assistant, but specifically for set decoration. And basically that entailed running errands and picking up clothing items for the lead cast, dressing up sets too. Our first set, which was in the morning, at the cigar lounge, and then secondly the big lab scene, which was our final scene.
My fellow PAs, what interested you in working on this project, and how did you end up joining White Balloon Productions for Monday?
Well, for me, I love doing the 48s, clearly since I've done 7. But as soon as Lisa made this announcement that this was going to be a thing, I really wanted to jump on board with this. I wanted to work with Lisa. I knew that if she chose to go this route and do this project, that she would be able to find great people in the Richmond area. And, I wanted to expand my networking so that I could meet new people, just like meeting you guys. I just knew it'd be a really fun experience and a great opportunity. So why not, right?
Totally. Addy?
A little bit of the same. Since this was my first 48, like I said, I'm excited that Lisa reached out to me. I previously worked with her during one of her film fests as well. She was really amazing with her work she does there. So I figured it would be a great experience to jump on my first 48.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, same for me. I mean, it sounds like we heard Lisa was in charge and we were like, all right, we're in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally agree. I never turned down an opportunity to make some new connections. So for our viewers, Lisa Giles is the city producer. She is in charge of the Richmond 48-hour project. She is also in charge of RFN Indie Fest and Richmond Film Network as a whole. You'll recognize her. She hosts podcasts as well, and she's kind of a jack of all trades. Now, before arriving on set, what were you expecting the experience of being a PA on this project to be like?
Well, for me, it was, pretty much exactly what I expected, sort of running around, helping wherever I could, just kind of throwing myself into the conversation and saying, "It's you need me to get anything? You want me to grab your water bottle or something?" And that's kind of what I was expecting, coming into this. I had never been to any of these locations before, so I didn't really know what to expect as far as what the environment and setting would be like. And a majority of the people on set I had never met before, so I didn't know really what to expect there. But I always did have this confidence that it would be a fun environment with a lot of interesting people that are easy to get along with. And we talked about this with Lisa during wrap. It's amazing. There's been no drama, or of course there are your hiccups with the 48 that you're going to have regardless, but nothing no drama of any kind. And I did feel really confident going into this thing that it was just going to be a fun day.
Totally.
I think for me, about the same. just kind of figuring out where everyone needs help in every department, just seeing where I can be helpful. But I also thought that would be like a great learning experience, just figuring out what, everyone has their own specialty, helping out, like asking questions, just getting to know more of like the film industry side of production. So I thought that was super fun, super cool.
Right, yeah. Let's talk about things that maybe surprised us that we weren't expecting on set. So, for me, I was not expecting to be in the movie. And Matthew, same with you. We double as PAs and background actors / extras. Matthew, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Of course, I happened to be an extra in the scene that was outside, so really, really cold.
Of course.
And I realized like a couple takes in that most of the takes I didn't have my gloves on, so I just had to like stick through it for continuity's sake. But yeah, it's always really fun to be pulled in as an extra. That's actually how I met Lisa, was being a background extra on that TV show Swagger when it was filming here. So
Wow.
it felt like, oh, we're getting the gang back together. It's always
Totally.
fun to be included on that aspect. 10 out of 10 would do again.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I was like walking past Lisa, who, as I mentioned, is the city producer, but also she was the director of this project. I was just walking past her and she said, "Go to makeup, you're going to be in this scene." And I said, "Okay." Because to me, that's what being a PA is. It's, it's kind of just, how can I help? What can I do? And rolling with it, anything as it comes. So yeah, Matthew was a live stream recorder and I was a podcast guest. So, and Addy will be in the next one. Don't worry.
Yeah.
All right. So, kind of building off of that, was there anything that you learned on set that you didn't anticipate learning at all?
I learned what it's like to be in the room when a sex scene is getting filmed.
There you go.
It was
Now that's a good answer.
that was a unique experience. Can't say
Yeah,
that I've been on
totally.
either set. So it's one of those things like you might see it in like a show or a film, and you might not think twice about how they go about those sorts of shots. So I really didn't know what to expect. So yeah, it was just learning how that process goes. How does that change up what's going on immediately behind the camera, or what is it like in between takes? So it was interesting to sort of get an ear in on how the actual production process of that goes. It was really interesting.
Yeah. And Addy, would you like to explain what the production process was during that?
Yeah, I think it was really interesting the way they handle it. Also, the way we filmed it and the direction we had was very helpful, especially since you never really think about everyone there. There was several people there. I don't know the actors, they don't know me. I bet the actors don't even know most of the other people. So it was probably awkward for them as well, but the way they handled the set, especially with the coordinator there helping guide them through what they were going through, um, I think it was very good. Everyone was really comfortable. Everyone tried to keep everyone's privacy, so it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was what I thought too. It was interesting. I'd never really thought about the logistics of the sex scene. But yeah, the whole all non-essential crew were like shunned over here and told to
Yeah.
like, go take a break, look on your phones or whatever. And so it was really just them, and it was able to be a lot more private and small, which I'm sure the actors appreciated. But yeah, Addy, do you have anything else?
In one of our locations, we were having some issues with the sound. I was really determined to try to turn off this like humming sound in the background, and it was coming from the lights. We contacted the owner of the place and figured out how to turn every single individual light off, turn them on. That was quite an experience because it took about 5 tries turning every single light off and turning it back on because nothing was labeled either. And it was like, make sure you don't turn off these specific buttons or the alarm will go off. So it was a little nerve-wracking at first, but we got it covered pretty well.
Yeah, yeah. And for the viewers, we were in like a giant like warehouse. So you can imagine how many light switches there were. But yeah, that's great. So I'm curious, was there a moment where something finally like clicked where you thought, all right, I get what it's like to be on a film set now?
I think so. I think just like being on set with everyone, just seeing where everyone's department is kind of thing. Like how does a producer produce? They're just like doing their own thing. And you got like the art directors, art setup, like they're doing their own thing. So I think it was really interesting just because everyone's like basically broken out into your own specialty. It's like, do you know how to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, you go do that. All of the specialties go do their own thing. So it's really interesting to see.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll echo that because I did one other 48 and then I've done like student films and stuff. But so I've never actually worked on like professional level set. It was definitely the most professional set that I've ever been on, like by far, by far. So it was like so cool. I was like, wait, this is like a real movie set. Like this is what it must feel like to be on like, in the big leagues.
Yeah. I've been on another smaller indie film set where it was more spaced
Yeah.
out, like couple days. But I think something about a
Mhm.
48 is a different experience because if you're working on indie sets or other sets where there's other days, you might not see those people. So it's a totally
Absolutely.
different.
Yeah.
Yes,
Definitely a
definitely.
different experience. And I would just say, like, you saying that it's the most professional set you've ever been on, I think that really just speaks to the professionalism and the talent and the skills of everyone that was a part of this project. Because for the people that don't know, this decision to do this particular city produce 48 was made like within a week or two before the event happened. So to pull together a crew that quickly with that much talent and skill, like, and then have it be like the most professional set that you've ever been on, I think that just, it really says a lot about what a great cast and crew and producer and director that we had.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Compared to my past experiences, where it was like just, a bunch of like people my age trying their best to make a movie, and this was like the real thing. So that was really special to me. I was like, all right, this is it. This is a real movie. Oh, yeah. Did any department teach you something unexpected? Speaking of all the different departments, Addy.
I would say the set decorating. I realized there was a bunch of different components that go into it. I was like, oh, this is different from what you think. Because being in spaces like a warehouse and turning it into something totally different, I don't know. That department's like needs to have some kind of really creative mind just to be like, all right, this random space that has nothing is gonna turn into this. And it's like I need this, this, and this, and this. And I think that was really kind of amazing just how they can just think it on top of their mind, just being like, I can envision what the space can look like, even though I have nothing to really work with.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. That was going to be my answer, was the art department. The set decoration was just phenomenal, especially for the location that was made to be the botany lab, right? Throughout the entire production, they were pulling up stuff and like figuring out like what to print off and posters to make and everything like that. They were doing that from the beginning of the day. And it was one of those things that they were building like brick by brick the entire production day. And it felt like, I would say it almost felt like it fell perfectly into place for the final shots and like the final scenes to be done at the warehouse in that location, so that they had all day to get it like perfect. And just the detail that went into it, all the effort. And I'm sure that Payden would be able to speak more on this.
Yes.
She wasn't dealing with, the internet issues, but yeah, they did a phenomenal job. And honestly, it made me want to really learn about the intricacies of like what they do to like make a set look good like that, because they did an amazing job.
All right, yeah, we're 3 for 3 because I was gonna say the same thing. Similarly, I feel like I've never really been on a set with real intention to the production design. And I was just blown away. Like Matthew said, like the details, the like intricacies, and there's even things that, you can't see in the final cut of the movie. just because of whatever, how the shots were, but like standing there and being in that lab set, I was like, oh my gosh, like the entire place was like totally transformed. I have a huge new appreciation for that. And I really didn't even, and that's something that I never even really put a lot of thought into for whatever reason. Shout out to the set decoration. We wish that the set deck PAs could be here with us, but we still are appreciating them in our hearts. Talking about our hearts, was there anyone that you bonded with while on set? If so, tell me a little bit about what helped to create that sense of friendship.
I felt like I bonded really well with you guys and with everyone. The funniest and most unique bonding experience that I had on set was probably with Benson and Corbin. Because
And what were their roles?
Corbin was an actor in the sex scene, and Benson took BTS photography photos, and Dante was the conspiracy theorist from the live stream.
The live streamer, your scene partner.
Right, exactly. I think the most unique bonding experience I had was with them because they are part of the Bowtie Boys. They've done 48s, and they always do a really good job. And I participated in this past Horror 48, running a team for the first time. And the Bowtie Boys beat me for both Best Poster, and they beat me for the free registration contest. So, I was like, you guys are actually like my nemesis team now. And they're like, that's great. You're my arch enemy now. And so now we have a team rivalry thing going on. So that was really fun.
Yeah, I love it. Addy?
Maybe when I was talking to like Will, our producer, and you and Lena, we were just like all chatting around. Will was showing us some of his work that he's done and just what he's already created, and I thought that was really interesting, really inspiring.
Yes, I echo that sentiment. Will was great. I spent a lot of time with him because, he was kind of in his office doing his producer things, and I was making the credits. Yeah, Will was great to learn from. And in a similar sense, Josh, the first AD, was also so lovely. He was great about asking if there was anything that I wanted to learn and just teaching me about what a first AD does. And of course, Lisa, although she was mostly very busy on set, running the set. What would you say was the hardest part of the weekend?
Probably the biggest hiccup in the whole production would be the thing with the Petersburg set. For the context,
care to explain?
Basically, what happened was we had a third location that we were going to go shoot for like a dead garden scene to show the state of the plants are in this world. And when we all traveled down there, we needed to get this as a daytime shot, and we were leaving around 4:00. And so we had limited time as
already cutting it close. Yeah.
Right. And then we get to Petersburg and we can't get through because there's a parade going on. So we had to pack it up and go right back to our box factory location and just make something work. And
we did.
Yeah, I think it turned out even better than it would have. That's one of those happy accident sort of things. But that was one of those, oh man, this is going to really mess with the schedule. This is going to really put us behind sort of things. And, just we overcame.
And we still ended up wrapping at 10:30.
Which is the craziest part. I was actually texting Lisa about this. We wrapped at around 10:30-ish, which is, first of all, really, really good for a 48. But if you account for the hour that we missed doing the whole Petersburg thing, we could have wrapped at 9:30.
I know.
Think about that.
We could have been out of there by dinner time.
Right.
All right. So, Addy, what would you say was the hardest part for you?
I'd probably agree. The Petersburg location. But I don't really think we had too many hiccups, honestly. That was a hiccup of time. But everyone was calm. Everyone was like, oh, we're just gonna figure it out, work around it. It didn't seem like anyone was stressed, even though I feel like that was probably the most stressful thing anyone actually did on set that day. But everyone bounced back super quickly and we're just like, where do you need me? What are we doing next? It wasn't like anyone was stressed out. None of the actors were stressed out. We were just like, what was next? So
Yep. Yes. Yeah. We were very thankful and lucky to have such a flexible cast and crew.
And the
Which is
owner of the
obviously
factory for letting us
totally,
be there for
totally.
so long. Like,
Ed.
big shout out
Thank
to
you,
him.
Ed.
Yeah, big shout out to
Yeah, I mean that's the name of the game with the 48s is I'm learning. You just have to be flexible. So, what challenged you in a way that you feel like helped you to like grow and make you feel better, more confident? Like, was there something that you overcame?
from like a social perspective. I felt like I like sort of was getting over that hump of like, oh, all of these people are so talented and skilled, and I want to talk to them, and I want to network with them, and I want to be friends with them, and going up and trying to actually make those connections, even though there's kind of a nervousness about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Addy?
in the beginning, I didn't know anyone really on set except for you and Lena.
You knew
So
me.
yeah, I was like, oh, maybe Alina might show up, but yeah, I didn't really know anyone.
All right, you're making it sound like I was super late. Like,
No,
jeez.
I just got there and I was just like, oh, I don't really know anyone here. Looked around, then I remember Will said something. We would get ready, like started soon or something. But we're trying to get to know everyone, just try to say hi, and then you came, and I was like, oh, I guess I knew someone else here. So I think definitely got easier throughout the day. Everyone started to talk to everyone and just just get to know everyone. So got easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'll say for me, what challenged me the most was the credits.
You did a great.
And well, thank you. And the font, Addy knows.
Yeah.
It took me like 2 hours to pick a font. So while all the lab scenes were being filmed, the through line of the story is the botanist lab. I wasn't on set for any of that. I was in the other room making my credits, trying to pick a font for 2 hours. But I think that they turned out really well, and I'm really glad that they turned out the way that they did. I'm happy with it, and I taught myself a couple of new little tricks in Premiere, so now I'm confident that I could make credits for anybody. All right, and so kind of building off of this, is there anything that you guys would do differently, knowing what you know now, or you think you did everything right?
I don't want to frame it like, oh, I did everything right, I'm so perfect.
No, I was just kidding.
I feel like I can't think of any particular thing like, oh, I really messed up or anything like that. I guess if anything, I would be more attentive to like, is this walkie actually on? Because I think there were a couple times where I turned it off or taken out the earbud, and I must have missed a call for my name at some point, because the next thing I heard was someone else's walkie saying, "I have no PAs." It's like, oh, that's
Right.
me. Go.
That was me. That was when I was doing the credits, for the record. So, Addy, do you have anything or?
I'll probably say the same actually, because I remember in the beginning, Will handed some of us some walkies, and I'm just like, how do you use this thing? I also didn't really know what to say. Sometimes they would ask for certain things, and I'd just be like, I don't really know how to respond to this. Like, do they just want like times? Do they want like where they're at? Like, I think that would probably be something to figure out,
Yeah.
When they gave us walkies at the beginning, I was like, oh, this feels so official.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really
I
doing
mean, come
my-
on. Right.
Yeah,
That's
walkies,
what I'm talking about. That's what I was like, dude, this is a real movie set. Oh
real,
my. Like, yeah. I agree. Mostly the walkies. And I probably would have decided on a font faster if I could go back in time. But so while we're reminiscing, do you guys have a favorite memory in general? Like a moment where you're gonna be like retelling a story for weeks and weeks? Because my favorite memory was when Will, the producer, was in the movie. Let's say that.
Yeah. That was an experience.
It was awesome. And shout out to makeup, hair
Right.
and makeup. She is awesome. Like I'm upset because in the final cut you can't exactly see all the work that she put in. Her name's Kaylee Rem Linton, but trust me, the makeup was fire, and we have some BTS pictures. So once it's out, the world will know.
I think during that time too of the makeup, was just another experience of just sharing the moment with most of the cast and crew, just looking and admiring their work. And we're just like all talking about it, and just like that's another
We were
moment
all
of
together too.
togetherness.
I was in that back room when it was getting applied.
Oh,
Um,
right.
So I saw it
Okay.
finished.
So was there one moment where you felt especially proud of yourself or the group? Like, what's one thing that you're like, how did we pull that off? I think that final shot, the scene we were just talking about in the warehouse is, I mean, the cinematography across the board is amazing, but that shot specifically, woo, so good. Curtis Boggs, our wonderful cinematographer. That specific shot. Wish I could give more details, but you'll just have to watch Monday, and you'll know which one I'm talking about. It's at
You
the
have to
end.
watch it, and then you have to vote for it.
Yes, exactly that. So yeah, what about you guys? What made you proud?
I think I just have to go back to art department, honestly. With a lot of different like departments, whether it be sound or art or even just acting in general. I feel like there's this fine line that has to be walked where if it's absent, you're going to notice, but if someone's overdoing it, you're going to notice as well. So if it's done just right, it just blends in perfectly. And I keep going back to art department because the botany lab set was I just thought it was so well done. And that, of course, goes back to Payden and Robert and Sherry, right? It was really,
Yeah, absolutely.
so just great all around.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that as well. The close-up shots and the the end result, I thought that was really, really amazing. The cinematography, all the detail, it's amazing.
Yeah, I feel like the cinematography, the makeup, and the set design were, it sounds like, the big things that really blew us away. And I think, for me, oh yeah, Matthew, what else?
Oh, I just wanted to throw another small thing in there. I won't spoil it, but I really love the use of the required line, and those who know. If you know, you know. And if you don't
Writers,
know,
snaps to the writers. Yeah, watch the film and vote for it.
That's right.
Yeah. So I feel like personally, what I found myself the most impressed by was the stuff that I consider myself to know the least about. So
that's right. Shout
so
out
to
to Caitlin Whitaker and Anson Kessinger.
Yes,
Sorry, I beat you to
clever,
it
clever. Yeah, you got it, Matthew. We love our whole cast and crew. So looking forward to the future here. Did working on Monday inspire you to pursue something new in film? Like, are you interested in any new departments now, or a new career direction entirely?
I think we kind of touched on this in our private screening for cast and crew only. I really want to, next time that I'm doing a 48 at least, maybe in some other short film, if I make one, I would really like to storyboard and DP on it. I don't know anything about cameras really, but especially when I'm the one writing the script, I feel like I can just visualize it so perfectly within like particular shots and stuff too. And I would really like to try my hand.
Totally. Yeah, I can't wait for you to do that. What about you, Addy?
I think maybe producer role would be a higher end goal, maybe, because I like figuring out the logistics of everything, making sure everyone's like has all the information, making sure everything's trying to run as smooth as possible. So I don't know, maybe something along those lines. But on like a more creative side, I'm a freelance photographer, so dabbling in drone photography, that would be really interesting. I've always thought about maybe doing that. I think that would be really interesting as well.
I guess for me, I would say I want to do it all. I agree with Addy. I also, we were both talking to Will Sidaros, our producer. I'm definitely interested in that. I feel like I have a pretty logistical mind. I also was talking a lot with Josh about first ADing. I think that seems like something I would probably be pretty good at. And I'd like to try my hand out at sometime. And then more broadly, like less related to just Monday, I like to write, direct, do it all, dream big. And so when you watched the film during our private cast and crew screening, did anything stand out or surprise you in the final edit? I'll start if you want some time to think. I was really shocked because I had been told on Sunday by Lisa that the movie was a minute over length. So I then, in order to get it submitted, I figured that they must have cut entire scenes. And then I get in there and I'm thinking there was like maybe a couple of lines here and there that I noticed were cut. But like, I was like shocked that they were able to trim a full minute down while still maintaining every like actor, actress. I was still in it. Matthew was still in it. I was like, what am I doing here if we had a whole minute to cut? So shout out to Alex, our editor. Absolutely genius. Alex DeBoard. It was actually a minute and a half over. So even more impressive, truly. And the background extras, me and Matthew, we still made the final cut. So that was my biggest shock. What about you guys?
Sort of piggybacking off of that, I haven't done much editing, but I can recognize where there was that like artistic like interweaving of like scenes and dialogue. So I think the thing that probably surprised me the most was how that plays out in the film, where we have a lot of these scenes that in the script there's this scene and this scene and this scene, but on screen what ends up happening is sort of this interwoven story that's going on, like showing that this is happening at the same time, and it really comes through beautifully, getting that point across. I was surprised to see it play out like that, as opposed to how it was written in the script. But it makes sense because of having to cut down so much and make it work. That is often like the problem solving that goes into it.
I'd argue like that made it even stronger. Like multiple scenes were kind of cut up and put together and woven. And I thought that worked really well because it felt like, we're spending a second at this one person's reaction to what's going on in the story. And then we're going to go to this other one person's reaction. And then, oh, wait, we're actually going to go back to this first person way at the end, like, because the concept of the film is that something is affecting the entire world, or specifically Richmond at the very least. So I thought it was very important to feel like, okay, there's a lot of different perspectives at play here. And Addy.
Very good. I do agree. Editing was really interesting. How he edited all of it to make it even more like enhanced was amazing. Cinematography was really amazing. I didn't know
Color grading.
how that was gonna look in the final product. You just see someone with a camera shooting, you have to see all the lights and then just see it up, and it's just like so cinematic, just like detailed, like so clear. It was like, oh my goodness, this is actually really crazy.
It's a professional production.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so speaking of that, I was wondering, do you guys have any advice that you would give to somebody walking onto their very first professional set?
I'd probably just say, do the best you can, ask
Name
questions.
tags.
Yeah, definitely name tags, ask for help, ask what they do, just see and learn. If you don't know how to do something, just ask. Because the worst they can say is you're a PA. So
That's
you
good.
just gotta be there on set, learn from experience, and go from there.
Learn by doing. I totally agree. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Say hi to everybody, meet everybody, and do everything that they say. That's my advice. Matthew, what is yours?
I very much agree with you guys. And you have to also walk into a set like that knowing that you deserve to be there just as much as everyone else does, and that you have something to contribute, even if it's just moving
getting coffee
out of the way so it's not on camera. That is still saving time for other crew. That is still valuable to the production. People are not just excited to learn, but they're also excited to teach, because this is an art form, and it's one of those rare things where so many branches of creativity and craft and skill come together to form this one big, beautiful amalgamation, right? So more often than not, you're going to find amazing people to talk to and create with and learn from. And you have to remember that when you go on to set, because you might go in like I have before, where there's this nervousness of like, do I really belong here with everyone else that's in the room? But you do, and you got to remember that.
Wow, Matthew, that was very inspirational. That is amazing advice, and I agree 500%. So if you could describe the experience of making Monday in one word, what would it be? For me, learning.
I would probably say adventure.
That's good. I like that.
It is an adventure. I might stick with organized because like we can't emphasize enough just how smoothly everything went. It was really a great experience, and I am very grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. So before we go, is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you think people should know?
And it's such a cliche, but I'm going to say it anyway. My favorite part is always just kind of having that sort of epiphany hit you when you're watching everyone do their thing, and everyone's tending to their own part of the craft, right? And everyone interlocking and working so well together, and you just kind of sit there for a second and you watch everyone. It's like, wow, this is really coming together. And that's always my favorite part of a production that I've been on, whether I'm a PA on it or I wrote for it or what have you. All the same with this one. It's always just such a rewarding feeling to watch all of that unfold in real time. And it's always my favorite takeaway from any set, including this one, especially this one. It felt like a crossover episode between so many teams and so many groups of people.
It was like the Avengers of the Richmond film community.
Right, exactly. Like, because like I said, there's Bowtie Boys, and Will Sidaro does his own thing, amazing things, by the way.
Anson, the writer, along with David Fritzen. Yeah, I totally agree. It really
is the Avengers of Richmond Film Network.
Yes. Addy?
I would say probably just the willingness to just like help everyone. I don't really know what I was expecting when I was walking on set, just because like what you were saying, Matthew, do you belong here kind of thing, since I've never worked on a 48. I wasn't sure what to expect. Like, is like everyone going to do their own thing, or is it still like a production set? Everyone's still going to talk to each other, but how like friendly are they going to be? I was more shocked about that. Everyone was just like, if you had any questions, they would answer it. They were just like always willing to like reach out to you. Like there was like further downline collaborations. It was just like really like welcoming, friendly, So I think that was really amazing to see, especially on this set.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo that sentiment. I would say my favorite part was also how helpful and willing, not just willing, but like eager to teach everybody that was on set was. Like I remember Will Barker, the grip, like was just talking to Addy and I while setting up a scene and was like, so is there anything specific that you guys are trying to work toward? And we had a little bit of a conversation, and this was early on in the day. So this was still when we were all being a little like, should we talk or what? But he said like, oh, well, if there's anything that you think that I can help you with or teach you about or anything you want to talk about at all. And Josh was the same way. He was like, you can reach out anytime to me. Like everyone's just very nice and welcoming and friendly. I felt like everybody was my mentor on that set. It was very nice. So, before we go, I just have to plug to our viewers the virtual screening for our City Producer 48-hour film project Monday. The virtual screening and audience choice will be on January 4th at 12 p.m. And we are having an awards mixer on January 10th at 12 p.m. at the Hoff. So if you're in Richmond and you'd like to join us, please do. And wherever you are, we hope that you watch Monday on January 4th and give us a vote. A lot of really talented people worked really hard on it, and you just heard us talk about it for the last hours. I hope that people are interested, and I just can't wait for more people to see this. A vote for Monday is a vote for Richmond, Virginia, and North Carolina. We got crew from all over. Yes, so the link will be on our Instagram, White Balloon Productions, as well as RVA 48HFP on Instagram. And it is already in the White Balloon Productions link in bio. And it's also on Facebook with the same handles. So yes, follow us on Instagram. Check the link in the bio for White Balloon Productions and RVA 48HFP. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat today, my fellow PAs. Any parting words?
It was just a really fun experience, and I think that people who watch Monday will be able to recognize all of the hard work that went in. Even if you don't see the half of it that goes on behind the camera, I think you will still recognize from both a quality perspective, and it's one of those things you can just tell, if that makes sense.
You can feel it.
You can feel it. That's right. And I'm just very thankful to Lisa for deciding to run this thing and then having me as part of the project. I'm thankful for the podcast. Just happy to have been a part of it all.
I would echo the same. Thank you again to Lisa as well for asking me to be a part of this memorable experience. And thank you to Alina for hosting this interview.
Please. And how can we follow you guys on socials? I'll start. Alina McMahon on Instagram. ALINAMCMAHON. Hit me up.
You can find me on Instagram at Matthew Tate 123. It's my name, 123. Always looking for collaboration and making new film connections.
Me too.
I'm very much hoping to do the Summer 48 when that comes back around. So who knows? You could be a collaborator on it.
Oh yeah, I'm working on a short right now. So yeah, follow me at Alina McMahon on Instagram if you're trying to collaborate with me. I am writing it and I'm planning to direct, but I need everything else. So all are welcome. So yeah, I'm already assuming you guys will be there. So
yeah, definitely. Just hit us up. We got you. You can find me on Instagram. It's Addy's_photography and then 87. You can see all my photography there. You can hit me up for whatever your portraits, events, graduation photos, whatever. Always down to do whatever. So yeah.
We're a flexible crew. That's kind of the whole point of being a PA.
Yeah, definitely.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. What a lovely conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for watching this special edition of the Richmond Film Network Podcast. Be sure to vote for Monday to win audience choice in the Global City Producer 48-hour film project. Then join us in person at the awards watch party on January 10th at 12 p.m. at the Hop. Everyone's invited.